All right, guys, totally different change of pace today. Ooh, I got a hair in my mouth. So, pretty randomly, I decided that I wanted to teach myself how to weld. I've always been interested in welding, and I thought it would be pretty awesome to be able to weld stuff together. So, I went and bought a welder. Let me see if I could. How do I flip the screen? Let me flip the screen. So, this is the welder that I got. It's a Lincoln TIG 200 square wave. And the reason I bought a TIG welder is because my brother owns a food making factory, and he has a lot of stainless steel like pipes and stuff. The most useful application for me to weld is to learn how to weld stainless steel. And I always wanted to make like a stainless steel exhaust for my cars. I have absolutely zero experience welding. I wanted to see if a person could actually learn how to weld by only watching YouTube videos. So I have no formal training in welding. Before I made this video, I had tried this welder for about 1 hour, and I'll show you. Gosh, that's embarrassing. Okay, so this was my absolute first time ever welding. This is 316 stainless steel, which is like sanitary grade, I guess it's called. And I mean, as you can see, I'm terrible. Towards the end, I started to get something resembling a bead. You know, I was getting better, but like the first couple of ones, if you look at these, oh gosh, that's terrible. Guys, welding is really hard. After trying welding for the first time, I have a deep respect for welders now. Like, I foolishly thought that I was gonna be able to pick up this welder and kind of get the hang of it in an hour, and that is not the case. It's really hard. It requires a lot of technique and skill. I tip my hat to all you welders because it's hard. It really is. Now, when you're welding stainless steel, you do need to have the argon tank hooked up, and I do have the argon tank hooked up to my torch piece, but I don't have like an argon, you know, to do like any, what's it called, where you put the argon in here so it doesn't get all, you get these nasty welds on the backside, and it gets like all corroded and stuff because the oxygen, I guess, eats away at the stuff on the stainless steel. I'm just learning all this stuff, so somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. This is my tip that I got that came with the welder, and as you can see, I've already tried it once and it's quite dirty already. I did manage to dip my tip or whatever into the molten stainless steel, and I had to grind it down again to get all that stuff off. And I didn't know that you actually have to grind this down to a tip, so I watched a YouTube video on how to do that too. Today, I'm going to attempt to weld these little stainless steel pipes. I'm going to try and weld 2 of them together like this. Then if I successfully do that, I'm going to try and weld pipes to that and make like a crazy piece of artwork or something like that. We'll see. I don't really care if I like butcher it up or whatever, but I just want to I want to be able to like make a bead. That's like what my goal of today is that if I could get that some sort of consistent bead and actually be able to mend these pipes together and have a good weld, then that would be a success. I will say, for my first time welding, I did actually connect these 2 things to this piece of metal. Like, they are welded together. It's terrible, but I did successfully weld them together. So I'm gonna try and improve on this. I think actually, before I get started, I'm gonna use whatever clean bit of steel I have left here, and I'm trying to make some more beads just to refresh my memory. So a couple of things you need to know when you're doing welding. So like when you're doing TIG welding, or maybe just welding in general, like everything has to be really clean. So this is gonna have to get wiped off. So they say you should use like acetone or something that like evaporates quickly. So I'm gonna wipe this off and get it kind of clean. I have my tip is all ready to go. I'm gonna set up the welder. Hopefully everything works out great. I got a mask, all that good stuff. One other thing that's really important is to wear a long sleeve shirt, preferably a welding coat, because my first time welding, I had no idea, and I got sunburn on my arms. If you could see, like, if you see that tan line there, guys. Yeah, so the ultraviolet light is like being in a tanning bed, and it's serious. So I had serious sunburn, and it hurt. It was like real sunburn. It's definitely wear like protection like everywhere. So I wear a mask. I just didn't know about the arm part. So I have a long sleeve shirt. I did order a welding coat, but it didn't come in yet, and I'm still kind of excited to try and successfully lay a bead of stainless TIG welding stuff. Let me get set up, and then we'll see if I could show you guys. So I'm not gonna be able to hold the camera and weld. In fact, I can't even show you guys welding because I need to get like a special screen to like block like a tinting screen or whatever. So I'm gonna do a weld here. I'm gonna do a weld on the pipe, and then I'll show you guys what it is. We'll find out if you could actually learn a real trade just by watching YouTube videos. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is to ground your work. So I'm gonna hook up this ground to the thing, and I'm gonna move this stuff out of the way because I don't need it. So guys, this foot pedal, it's not like an on-off. It's actually like a gas pedal. So like the more you press it, the more amperage you're putting. And I also did not know that either. Also, you like having the depth of your needle, I guess, is pretty important. I think I have mine out too far, so I'm going to adjust that. I should be all set. So here it is now, and I'll show you guys a video after I'm done. As you can see, this is not the appropriate workbench to learn how to weld. I keep dipping my tip into the molten stainless. It's like I get a little bit and I start to get the hang of it, and then something happens and I touch this electrode and it gets this ball on it, and then once you get this ball of molten stainless on it, it sends the scorching thing. It's ridiculous. You can't do anything. It just like will start arcing everywhere. It's no good. You can't get a focused type of. I will show you guys what I have accomplished. So it's still terrible, but I think it's progress. I did weld this together. I didn't burn a hole in it, and like it's bad, but it's like, you know, it's not as bad as when I first started, which is like pretty terrible. So I just hit this on the wire wheel, and it still looks like garbage, but it looks a lot better. When you're welding, you want to get, they call it like a stack of dimes. So you kind of want to get this like progressive bump, 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 and there's like a lot of rhythm to it. It's kind of something going right here, and then I lost it. I think this is where I dipped the electrode in, and that's where it started going crazy. And then I tried to recover, and you see it's like the electrode just goes, it goes crazy. Guys, this is the sum of approximately 1.5 hours of total welding experience. I'm not going to call it a fail, I'm just going to call it progress. So I'm not disappointed with this at the moment, only because like I know that up until yesterday I'd never held a welder in my life, let alone a TIG welder. May or may not be more difficult to use than a regular stick welder. So I'm gonna weld a couple of these more rods of these together. Hopefully they'll turn out pretty good. We'll see. Okay, so this is about a full hour of welding. So now I officially have 2 hours of welding experience. So this is my first go, and it was kind of rough. And then I got into here and I tried to build it up, and I'm pretty sure I ruined the pipe on the inside. See that big chunk there? I'm pretty sure I burned through it. So that would have been an epic fail. Let's see if I could find that middle pipe. Well, the middle pipe's probably worse. Totally burned through that too. And I also warped everything. Nothing is straight anymore. So evidently I'm putting too much heat on it. I don't know. I have to watch some more YouTube videos and see. It's like everybody is like, you know, get the puddle going and then move on with your life. I get the puddle going and it seems like it's getting too slow for me. I tried turning the amps up to 85 amps, and I think that helped a little bit. This was my second attempt. I believe this was almost at 80 amps. It didn't work out so good. And then this was my last attempt, and I think I was at 85 amps. And I actually was able to get something going with this one. And like, I'm kind of impressed with this. I mean, this doesn't look, I mean, it's bad, but I mean, it's not like that bad. It's like, okay, you know, if you're like for a beginner. I did blow through here when I was trying to tack weld it. I didn't completely ruin the inside of the pipe. It's hard to see because it's so crooked, but I did a little bit, but not like the end of the world. Anyways, this is day 2 of welding. Guys, this is hard. I never thought there would be anything in my life that would be really difficult to master. This is gonna take me a while. Like, I've always been a quick study. on like everything. But welding is difficult. Like it really is. Like you watch these guys on YouTube where they're just like doing these perfect beads, and they, you know, they're talking about making these beautiful rainbow colors when they weld, and I'm just trying to get something resembling weld. I mean, these are absolutely terrible, but I don't know. I think I'm on the right track. So, I mean, I gotta like do some more research and see about like playing with the amperage. I need to kind of mess around a little bit more with my technique. I think I have the tip kind of at the wrong angle. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just starting off on the wrong material. Like maybe I need to work on some flat stock first and then try this, because maybe this is like for more of an advanced person. I'll get some flat stock and see what it is, and maybe the next try I'll be a little bit better. So I'll start off with some flat stock next week. I'll watch some more YouTube videos in the meantime.